Hello and welcome to the topic Development, Chapter 1 Economics, Class 10. Development means growth, change in almost all aspects of the economy. The government, the infrastructure, the services, health, employment, sustainable development, everything. How do we measure the development? There are certain indicators for measuring the development of any nation. For example, we take the gross domestic product. Gross is the total value of all the goods and services produced by the citizens of a country within a year within the geographical territory. When we say domestic, within the geographical territory of India, 3.28 million square kilometers. The national product, when we take the national product, it is a measure of total value of all the officially recorded goods and services produced by the citizens and the corporations of a country in a given year. This also includes the goods and services produced within as well as outside the geographical boundary. Then what is gross national income? It is the measure of the monetary worth, the value in terms of money that we have invested in and outside of the country. Common measurement which is required in the monetary terms. Then, what is the difference between GNP and GDP? Gross national product and gross domestic product. GDP measures the value of goods and services produced within a country, the country's border, the geographical territory, country's border by its citizens and non citizens alike. GNP measures the value of goods and services produced by a country's citizens both domestically and also outside abroad in other countries. GDP is most commonly used as a global indicator for comparing the developmental analysis. So, how do you define development? What exactly means development? Development, does it mean individual development, institutional development, countries development? What exactly is development? Different people have different goals. Some may want to achieve development for just himself or herself. Some want development of family. Some want development of society. So different people can have different goals. What may be development for one person may not be development for others. For example, a doctor who is well trained, he wants to go and have his clinic in a village, in a rural area, and he will charge the money from the people and he is developing. But he is not catering to the services for which he is appointed, that is, the government service or the hospital for which he is appointed. So he is selfish. Another hand, you take a constructor or a builder who wants to clear a slum and there he wants to construct a mall. It is development for the builder. But what about the people who are living in the slum? It is absolutely exploitation of those people and their livelihood. The meaning of development, it is the process in which something grows, becomes more mature and advanced. So when we are saying India is developing, India has to develop in education, in the working conditions, in domestic area, in infrastructure, in water availability, in sanitation, everything. Everything has to improve. Plus, the change also should take place in the livelihood of the people. When change takes place, when people advance in their life, then we call development. What is national development? A nation's development or a country's development can be defined as the different persons could have different as well as conflicting notions of a nation's development. Some may think development of army is strengthening the nation is called as national development. Some may feel educational development, when everybody is educated, then the nation develops automatically. In the process of national development, a heavy industry is set up, or we can say that it's all round development of nation, like education and national income, etc. These all indicates the nation's development. The World Development Report. The World Bank has given the World Development Report in the year 2006, brought about by World Bank. The World Bank has used the criterion of the per capita income of for classifying the nations. So this classifies the nations of the world into high income group, middle income group, and low income group. So, according to this report, the countries with the per capita income of 4,53,000 per annum rupees, denoted in rupees, above 4,53,000 rupees, which country is having annual income, all those countries are called as rich countries. They are well to do economies. The countries with the per capita income of 37,000 per annum, we call such countries as the low income groups, and the middle income groups, they range from 38 to 4 lakh 52,000. They range in middle income groups. So income can be used as a criteria to denote the development of the country. Is it only money or anything else? Let us now compare this per capita income of the two countries, country X and country Y. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the five different individuals or persons who are earning different income as per capita income. Per capita income can be denoted as total income denoted by total population divided by total population. Okay. So if you add X country, we get 9,500 as, sorry, 9,000 as the per capita income. And if we take Y country, also we have 9,000 as the per capita income. But what is the difference is, one, two, three, four individuals are earning same income, and the fifth individual is earning so much. It is a vast difference between the two. 43,000 is a big amount. It is a big gap between the haves and the have nots, big gap between the rich and the poor. Income and human development index. So, should we consider only income as the criteria for measurement of anybody, or should we take human development index? How do you consider a human being to be developed? A human being is developed when he has literacy, when his standard is better, standard of living is better, he has enough drinking water, electricity, roads, buildings, he is safe, security is there. Also, when we talk about the country, when we take into consideration, there should not be infant mortality. Any child who is born should not die before the completion of the first birthday. Infant mortality rate denotes that number of children who die before the age of one birthday in proportion or in comparison to 1,000 live births. This is called as the infant mortality rate. When we take literacy, all those people who are above 7 years, who are able to read and write any particular language, their own regional language. So, what is net attendance ratio? Net attendance ratio is the number of children between the age group of 6 to 10 who are attending the school in comparison to the total number of children who are living in the country. These indicators are given by the United Nations Development Program in comparison to the per capita income. So, should we take only money as the criteria, or should we take overall development of the nation? This is Professor Amartya Sen, the Nobel laureate of India, who expressed welfare economics and the Human Development Index, who told that not only per capita income, but it is the human being who has to be regarded as developed only when his basic amenities are fulfilled, when he has enough of food, education, water, sanitation, safe protection, security, banking, insurance, commerce, infrastructure, everything of a nation has to be considered. This is denoted by the United Nations Development Program. For his work for the welfare economics, he was given the Nobel Prize for Economics, Professor Amartya Sen. He talks about the basic factors like the life expectancy. On an average, how many years a person is going to live. Education as the basic criteria. Today, it is the fundamental right of a person. Purchasing power parity. What is our ability to purchase? UNDP also issues the annual developmental report of the human being. On this, we consider how many human beings are having all the facilities. This is economic development. There is a basic difference between economic growth and economic development. We consider a nation to be developed only when infrastructure, academic level, educational level, standard of living, drinking water, availability of food, everything, medical facilities. This is a graph which is a comparative analysis between the different nations of the world. Where is India? The line showing India, and it's no doubt there is some amount of growth, but the graph shows a slanting line from a backwardness towards prosperity. But the nations, rich nations of the world, they are very, very well prospered. On an average, how many years a person is expected to live is the life expectancy. So we define economic growth of a country is increase in the goods and services. How much of increase? Economic development, when we say, when there is saving, when there is investment, when there is change, when there is welfare in the lives of the people, there is technological change, there is economical change, there is monetary gain, there is development, everything is taking place, then it is called as development. So it is not just quantity which is measured. Not only number of goods and services are increasing, but the quality, the physical quality, our standard has to grow. Our emphasis should be on the socio-economic factors. Our life should become more simplified without consumption of much of the resources. That is the ultimate goal of economic development. The map showing the primary difference amongst different states of the country. In the danger zone is the Bihar. We have the literacy map again. Again, the most least percentage can be noticed in Bihar. Life expectancy at birth. This is different species we can use. Can see the lifespan human beings 67 and different other species. Education. Today, education is the fundamental right. The net attendance ratio of all the children below, I mean, between the age group of 6 to 10 years who are attending school in comparison to all the children who are in that age group. Total number of children in the age group of 6 to 10 who are attending the school as a percentage to the total number of children of the same age group who are deprived of education. Then what are the socio-economic indicators? How do we consider that a society is developed? How do we consider that a nation is developed in terms of money? When everybody has a house, when everybody has safe house, not a kacha house, a pakka house which can withstand all climatic conditions, not blown away during the floods. We see India facing drastic sequences during the floods. We see the wealth levels, can they sustain when there is no regular income also? Do they have the basic educational levels? All these are the factors that can be taken into consideration. This is again the comparative analysis of all the states, different states, and this talks about the sex ratio. Number of females per thousand males is called the sex ratio. People feel that female is a burden. Many rural areas, even today, they feel that a girl child is a burden and investment on the girl child is a mere waste, and that is not going to fetch any long term returns or security to the parents. And therefore, they go for female infanticide or even forticide. So, we can see here the states which are lagging behind. Comparison of 2017, 18, 19. Slowly, the status is worsening in many. In some regions, in some states, it is increasing. There should not be any gender discrimination, whether it is male or female, both are equally important for a nation's development. This map which is showing the infant mortality rate and African and sub-Saharan region, you can see that it is very, very alarming. The malnutrition, non-availability of medical facilities, proper care not being taken, all these are the factors responsible for a child who die even before the completion of their first birthday. Infant, a child below the age group of 1, infant mortality rate. The child has to be given proper care and nurturing right from being in the womb itself. That's why many state governments, for example, if you take the state of Telangana, it offers security to the child as well as the mother Even after the birth, the child is deposited with some amount of money for their medical care and also all vaccinations to be given. It is the child who is the future of the nation, so proper care and protection should be given for the child who will be a citizen safeguarding the nation in future. So, how do we measure that we are obese or we are better contributors for the nation? We contribute or measure this by body mass index. A person's weight is taken into consideration. That weight is divided by height square, and when we get to the resultant factor as ranging between 18 to 25, between 18 to 25, they are normal, they are normal, they are normal. If it is above 25, the resultant factor is above 25, they are obese. Obese fat, who can be easily prone to any kind of disease. So, this is a comparative analysis of Sri Lanka, India, Myanmar, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh. We can see the life expectancy in different countries. Sri Lanka highest. You see human development index rank, again Sri Lanka leading. Teardrop in the ocean, Sri Lanka, but ahead in many things with regard to per capita income also, with regard to life expectancy also, and many other factors. So nations of the world should see that not only have human resource population, but provide all the facilities for them so that they are having a secured life. Human Development Report given by the UNDP, United Nations Development Program, considers that a human being is developed only when overall developmental aspects are given to him, right from housing, from drinking water, sanitation, medical facilities, every other facility when it is granted by the government to the people. When in a democracy only this happens, when all these factors are taken into consideration. That's why some of the states like Kerala, they invest a lot of amount on human resource development. Some of the states invest on agricultural development, some invest on irrigation, some invest on industry, but investment in human resource, who are finally going to be the better contributors, that should be the criteria for development. Then the nation develops. When each nation is contributing so much for human development, then the nation will then the world will develop, and each state in a country has to contribute a lot of amount in a budget. Large amount should be developed, should be allocated for education, for the basic amenities, infrastructure, drinking water, improvisation of health conditions, standard of living, provision of basic amenities to the people, health security, all these. So finally, the aim of these developmental aspects is to develop in such a way that we are continuously sustaining to develop. At the same time, we adopt a strategy or a plan that is not going to damage the resources, but we use judiciously and give time for it to multiply and also hand over to the future generations. So, according to Robert Repetto, the sustainable development is a development strategy or a plan that manages all natural resources and all human resources as well as financial and physical assets for increasing long term wealth and also well being. We use very carefully, we do not waste, we use it judiciously, carefully, and also hand over for future. The aim or objective of the sustainable development is to rise in the real per capita income and also the quality of life. So actual per capita income may be 10,000. The real per capita income from 10,000, we should be able to buy worth goods of 10,000 or even more. But when the value of the goods is going higher and the value of the money is falling down, then inflation occurs. That's an alarming fact where we need to take care. We should reduce environmental problems like pollution. We should rationally, carefully use natural resources. Do not deplete the natural resources. Use only as much as we require. Conservation of water, conservation of minerals, petroleum, many other aspects we should use and also pass on to future. This is a case study of underground water level. If we don't use it judiciously for the coming years, the water table is going to decrease very drastically. Here example of underground water resources in comparison to Punjab, western Uttar Pradesh and all is given, who in the factors of green revolution have adopted the depletion of the water resources from the underground. That may be a severe threat in Telangana and other regions, where the water scarcity is there. Enough steps have to be taken to safeguard the natural resources with terms of rainwater harvesting and all. This case study is about the crude oil reserves. If we don't use the crude oil reserves carefully, the natural resources will get existed, and that which is existing now will get extinct, will not remain for future. So once depleted, we cannot get back. So when we have the resource, we should use it very carefully. I hope the concept is clear. Thank you so much.